What did you guys think? I wasn't going to do an RGB video? Yes. Apparently they want all the options and all the colors on all the keys on all the keyboards. It's kind of crazy. They've got the K70 RGB. I've got the K95 RGB right here in front of me. Let's talk about these keyboards. So they are both, well, this is a 104 key, plus you've got the G keys over here with the, the K95. This is more of an MMO gaming, or just someone who needs a gazillion macros. You've got 18 macro keys plus 3 banks of macros, and there's a macro record button up here on the keyboard, physical macro record button. So that's what you get with the K95. With the K70, it's a 104 key keyboard, no nonsense, but you also have the media keys on this. So on both of the keyboards, you also have the, like I said, the media key, the mute, and the nice roller up here. This is just a nice metal roller. It's one of my favorite things about this keyboard, and it controls the volume. Then, of course, we have our lighting level changer thing, luminosity changer. And it does 4 levels because I count off as a level. A lot of times I just keep it off because sometimes I'm not in a light bright mood. Lighty bright. Someone's going to sue me for saying light bright. Then we have a Windows lock button that locks up your Windows key. So this one has the Cherry MX red switches. So they're soft, they're linear. A lot of people say these are the best for gaming because you can double tap quickly. There's no really noticeable actuation point, but it actuates about halfway down. And then it resets a few millimeters above that. So you can just keep spamming, for double tapping, that sort of thing. So the red keys are good for that. I personally like the brown switches. They're somewhat soft as well, but they do have an actuation point. You feel a bump. And then you've got the clicky keys like the blues and that sort of thing. And they're going to have browns and blues coming out very soon, but these are red. Now, these are not the standard red, of course, because they're RGB. And whereas before they had like a solid... I believe it was like a black housing, or like plastic housing around the top of the keys. Well, they've gotten rid of that, and now they've developed a clear housing. Now, the LEDs also used to reside just outside of that. So with all the other LED keyboards, there was a little LED on the outside. With this, they've put it inside of the clear cap right there, or the clear housing, and it's attached to the PCB. It's going to be stronger. It's not going to get dirty. It's not going to, have to worry about any sort of static or anything like that. It is fully enclosed. And one more thing I want to note about the LEDs. The LEDs are not centered on the keys. It's not a big deal for me, but for some people, they're going to notice, hey, with like the, the plus and equals. Let's take a look at that one. The plus is a little bit brighter than the equals sign is. So you'll notice that if you really stare at it, but I don't think anyone else is going to notice it at all. So yeah, there's that. Now also this is built on their really sleek brushed aluminum frame here. Comes with a rubberized wrist rest, and with the K95 you can screw it in there, you snap it in there, and then you screw it down for stability because this is a long keyboard. With the K70 it just snaps into place and doesn't go anywhere. On the back of both of these keyboards we have rubber feet, and then with the K95 we have 2 extendable feet in the back. But with the K70 we have 2 flip up extendable feet in the front and the back, so you can make the entire thing stand up. You can make it lean either way you want it. So more options there, and both of those kind of have sort of a rubberized feel on the bottom of the feet, so I like that. Inside here powering this, we've got a Panasonic lighting controller, 32-bit ARM processor, and that also handles all the in-key rollover, so it's doing a lot. And one thing that I found curious when I first picked this up is typically with a K70 or a K95 there's a USB port right here in the back, and it's a full pass-through because they've got this huge thick braided cable that goes to your PC, and it has 2 physical USB plugs. So this one has the 2 USB plugs, but no pass-through. I was like, what's going on here? Well, this thing needs so much power that if you're using USB 2, you got to plug them both in. If you're only using USB 3, USB 3 delivers more power. You just plug in the one with the icon of the keyboard on it, and you're good to go. I'm pretty bummed that I don't have the USB pass-through. I used that thing like crazy. I used it for, any USB 2 flash drives I had laying around. Used it for charging my phone, all kinds of things. So now I'll have to find some other way to do that, but, I guess it just needs the power. If you want all the lights, then you got to have power. All right, now we've hooked up the K70, and we're going to look at the software. I tried to play around with the K95 in the software, and it's doable, but I wanted to show you some of the community contributions here, and most of it's going on right now with the K70. Using the K70 profiles with the K95 can work barely, kind of, sort of, but not really, so don't do it. And something else while I'm on the don't do it stuff? So when you first get into the software, you have way too many options here. You guys can change every single button to be anything you want, including the brightness controls on the, on the K95. You can change, of course, you've got the 3 banks with 18 keys each, but you can also even change the keys that change the banks to being whatever. So let's say I want to change the Windows lock key. You can remap it. You can change it to be an action. These are all going to be kind of the lighting effects and that sort of thing. You can change it to just about anything as far as key remapping goes. Yeah, you can use pretty much any key, but you have all these other functions, you know. You can even have it be a mouse button, and you can even set it up to change like your DPI and your mouse. It's almost ridiculous. You can add media control buttons, which is kind of handy because FooBar is recognized as a media player, and that's the most robust and fancy sound program out there. But you can also use the standard crappy Windows media player, iTunes, and Winamp. So you can use all of those. Now let's go back to profiles just a little bit. This can be really overwhelming, like insanely overwhelming for me. You can go in here and you can change the lighting, and you can do all kinds of effects on it. And you can do certain things. Let's say if we make a group here, oh no, highlight all that. You can make groups of keys and then assign actions to those. So let's go ahead and add a group here. New group. Hello. Yes. I'm not very good at typing with reds. I always just slap the keyboard, and then, you know, I end up slapping 40 keys at the same time. So yeah, I'm more of a browns and blues, or even, you know, buckling springs kind of guy. So let's go over here to our lighting effect list. We've got a bunch of things here because I downloaded some stuff. We can add those. Oh, let's go ahead and create a new one though. Let's go ahead and add a lighting effect here. Where are they? Add new lighting effect. We can name it Hello. There we go. Again. And we can just have it be a solid color. And by doing that, we just right click and add our color. And then we can add, just say like, oh, let's edit this color and make it blue. Okay, and then everything's going to be blue up there. But I don't want that. I want to do like something cool. We can have a gradient go across them, but let's make a ripple. Yes, a ripple. And ripples can have multiple colors. So we'll add a color here, and we'll add a color here. There we go. And then we'll edit this to be, edit that color right there. Yes. Let's have that be red, and have the other one over here be just something so you can see it like a green. There we go. I mean, all these colors, man. It looks like Christmas. I don't like that. Let's make it not Christmas. Let's have it go red too. There we go. Like that's weird. Righto. And then we can, you know, change this up there just like that. Oh yes. All right. So that should do it. And then we can change the duration here. This is always important. I'm going to make it 2 and 2. And you have all these options here, guys. You have it on key press. You could just have it. You know, just have it doing its thing. If you want to make something like Knight Rider, you can. In fact, people have already made the Knight Rider thing online, and I'll show you that. But yeah, on key press, on key release, all kinds of different things. So end it after one time. We'll have it do. Let's have it do twice, 2 ripples, and then yeah, on the key press. Okay. So now I've just created something, but there's a lot more tutorials. You know, there's several different tutorials online, thanks to good old Yellowbeard. And I recommend you guys going to, you know, looking at the tutorials, because the software is extremely complicated, almost too complicated. But you know, if you really want to do something, you can do it. Lua scripting's not in this yet, but it will be soon, and that'll make it even more ridiculous. You'll be able to do almost anything. What I'm waiting for is someone to figure out with Lua scripting how to do a FooBar equalizer on the keys. That would be amazing. So guys, get to work on that when the Lua comes out. As for now, my other gripe with the software is that every once in a while it would crash. Not often, but every once in a while it would crash. And whenever it crashed, I would reopen it, and it would not recognize the keyboard until I did a full reboot. So that was kind of frustrating. It took a couple days. Also took me quite a while to update the firmware on this thing. But the first 2 or 3 days, I kept trying to update the firmware. And then finally, on like day 3, it just worked. But the first couple of days, it would get about 90% and then not work. I'm not sure if it had anything to do with the, you know, the different polling rates on the back. I had it, you know, set on the default. But, you know, the thing that's kind of cool about this is it does have a little switch here to change your polling rates. And it even has a BIOS mode. Now, the BIOS mode is going to make it compatible with the old school BIOS, some of the old school BIOSes out there. And some of the UEFIs, sometimes you plug one of these in and it's like, I don't know what this keyboard is. It's kind of weird. So you've got the BIOS mode there for that. But I usually just keep this on the default, and you guys can play around with it. If you want to change that up, you can do it. If you go here to Corsair's website and just browse the forum, you'll find all the different community submitted things. I mean, there's some for K65, some for K70, a couple for K95 as well. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. I'm going to install some and just, you know, play around with them. The Knight Rider one is pretty cool. And you just go and you can watch the video. Most people upload a video because they're cool. And then you just grab the file here. You come back into your program, go to your profile, and you can import, export profiles. We've got several downloaded here. There's the Knight Rider one right there. And you can also do this with modes, lighting effects, actions, all kinds of things. You can import, export actions, and as you see, it's a different, you know, it's an .act file. And then when you go over to, you know, different lighting, You can import those as LGHT files. So an extreme level of customization. And right now you're just seeing a bunch of different ones that I've downloaded from the, their website. And I think that's what's going to make this a keyboard for a lot of people. I don't think there's going to be a million people out there who are going to want to get a keyboard and spend 3 days of their life trying to, program the perfect thing. You can do that. I like the fact that you can do that, and that's an option. But for a lot of the people out there, it's going to be much easier to let someone else do the work for you. You're not going to have a totally unique keyboard all to yourself, but it's going to be more unique than any other keyboard out there. And that's why this is the most powerful keyboard I've ever seen as far as lighting effects go. Nothing else even comes close. I'm sure other things have bigger USB hubs, possibly, more functions and that sort of thing. But from just the, the lighting standpoint, there's nothing even close out there on the market, and I don't expect there to be for quite some time, seeing as how they have an exclusive deal with Cherry. You'll have, of course, the alternative switches, but, I really like this keyboard. I need that USB plug in the back. Gotta have that. So that's kind of a bummer. And other than that, I mean, it's whatever you want. And that's exactly what this keyboard's about. If you want to take this and make it completely minimal and just have it be completely white or whatever, you can do that as well. I love the K70 and the K95 just for the build quality. So if for nothing else, just the build quality and a few options, I still can recommend this. I cannot wait until they improve the software, because that was a bit of a headache. And the logo for me has got to go. I want the one with the regular logo, but you know what? If you like that logo, it's like a crab thing or whatever. We made fun of it on the tech a little bit, but if you like the logo, then you can go for it. And I'm kind of curious. Let me know what you guys think of everything. The keys, the way it lights up, the software, and also the logo. Just let us know in the comments, and we will see you guys in the next video.